Joyous Rising family. Good morning, grand rising, happy risings. I hope everybody's doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I'm so glad to see everybody here. Check in, family. Let us know where you're hailing from. I know I've been gone for a while, and you all know why. You see, my internet's acting up already. I've been gone for a while because YouTube shut down my channels, but I do have a little bit of good news. However, many people have been asking me, where in the world have you been? So let me just say it this way. I guess you're wondering where I've been. I searched to find a love within. I came back to let y'all know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Y'all remember that song? I got a thing for y'all. I just can't let go. I just cannot stop reporting the news. It is my purpose. It's what brings me joy. It what gives me life. It helps me to have hope in the future. And so I have so many wonderful things to tell y'all. That's an old song. I think the guy's name is Bobby Womack. I'll look it up for y'all. But yeah, he says, I got a thing for you and I can't let go. So family, the good news that I want to tell you about is that the Republic has been re-inhabited. The military, in fact, is preparing to return the government back into the hands of we the people. That's great news. So I don't care what it looks like on the outside or what mainstream media news is reporting. There is some good news that's on the horizon that I must share with you all. So good morning. I see people checking in from France. I see Robert says you look happy, bright energy. Yes. Oh, yes. Let me just show you this. Solo Queen says, great rising family. I can tell you for a certainty that the Republic has been re-inhabited and that the Republic has been restored and that the military is working behind the scenes and almost in front of the scenes, if you know where to look, to return the government back in the hands of we the people. And how can I say that for a certainty? Because I'm involved. Oh, God is so good. So good morning, grand rising. So good to see everybody. I have a mini channel. So let me tell you what happened. I have 7 YouTube channels. Okay. YouTube shut down 6 of my channels. And then I started a 7th channel where I only did, I think, an interview with the Princess Elizabeth Rodriguez, who is the sole executor of the Rodriguez Trust, and that trust will fund Nasara, Jasara, and many humanitarian projects, as well as not eject, but inject trillions of dollars into the global economy. And speaking of the princess, if you're ready for a part 2 interview with me and Princess Elizabeth Rodriguez, the sole executor of the Rodriguez Trust, then put yes in the chat right here, right now. If you want to hear a part 2, then put yes in the chat because we are going to do a part 2 interview live where you can ask any questions that you want about the Rodriguez Trust. Is it true that she's the sole executor? Is it true that there's another manager out there who says that he has the sole power to push the button? But this is the green light that will inject so much money into the global economy, fund humanitarian projects, and liberate the whole planet. I'm so excited. So let us know if you want to see a part 2. Yes, I am involved with the Restored Republic. Look at all these yeses. Okay, if you guys say yes, then we're going to do it. We were contemplating whether or not that was a good idea or not. YouTube has been censoring me. Thank you all so much, family. I love y'all so much. Somebody said, they said tomorrow is our day. And interestingly enough, I heard that Donald Trump says it begins September 6th. So we shall see. So much is happening, family, behind the scenes. YouTube did shut down 6 of my channels. However, I just kept appealing over and over, and I've been doing this through the years. Finally, they reinstated 3 of my 6 YouTube channels that they shut down. However, they said I can't monetize. I'm not allowed to monetize. I don't have access to advanced features, which means I can't put anything in the comment section. In the community section. I'm not able to put anything in the description section. They won't allow me to make money on my YouTube videos. And yet I decided to still come on after having some time away and contemplating whether or not I want to still do this, this news. I won't be on here every day because I am involved in some things behind the scenes. Praise God. Thanks be to Gold Star Mother Susan Price and the military and some other people that I won't mention. But the good news about YouTube is that Elon Musk just made a statement, an official announcement that he plans to buy YouTube. And that's huge because Elon Musk, as you all know, bought Twitter. He bought X. And he said, who's to say when something is misinformation? Who is the arbiter of that? He said a lot of things that people were saying on YouTube that was branded as conspiracy theories has been proven to be true. That's what Elon Musk says. And he said, we can't overlook that. He said, that's a pretty big deal. As a matter of fact, I'll let you hear for yourself what Elon Musk said. Hold on, let me see if I can get this up for you. But he plans to buy YouTube, and YouTube, as a matter of fact, is the second most searched website in the world, only second to Google, which happens to own YouTube. And it brings in billions of dollars in revenue. It's an opportunity for Elon Musk to kind of, make sure that we have free speech. So I'm excited about that. But I have to tell you something about Elon Musk a little later is that some people say they don't know if he's a real person. One of the people that says that is Benjamin Fulford. Benjamin Fulford is a geopolitical analyst that's been covering geopolitics for decades, and he published with Forbes for many years out of Japan, and now he lives in Japan. So if you don't know about Benjamin Fulford, I'll tell you a little bit more about him in a minute. You need to follow him because he knows what's going on in the geopolitical landscape, and he's been very, very correct in his projections for the future over the decades. But some people are saying they don't know if Elon Musk is like some type of avatar, if he's a real person. I don't know. They could be using this avatar to do good things, but many people say he's kind of on the fence in terms of whether or not he's a white hat or whether or not he's a black hat. Who knows? But what we do know is that he said he is going to purchase YouTube. So let me show you that quickly. Let me see if I can bring that up for you. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can let you see what he says. Keep checking in, family. Thank you. So many people are saying, yes, you do want to see a part 2. You see this person right here that's posing as me, says, thank you very much for the love and support. Hope you have all the necessary precautions to safeguard your assets. That's not me. I don't even know who this Dr. Kia Pruitt live official is. There are many accounts that are posing to be me they are not me. And they're saying, reach out to me for the proper guidance. Please, I will never ask you to support Bitcoin, to get Bitcoin from me or learn more about digital assets or Bitcoin, because that's just not my thing. If you want to learn about digital assets, then I would encourage you to reach out to Dave XRP Lion One. He is the person that I know that's really involved in digital assets. I don't know about Patriot Rod Steele, but there are some other people out there. What is it? XRPQFS Team 1, Mel Carmine. He knows about digital assets, but Dr. Kia Pruitt doesn't know much about digital assets. That's not my thing. I'm a gold person. I'm a silver person. I'm a liberation person. If you want to buy silver and gold, I'm going to tell you to go to Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. You can reach out to them by calling Miles Franklin at this number. But I'm not the person for digital assets, so I don't know who that person is that poses to be me. That's not the right thing that I wanted to show you. Let me show you right here. But you can reach out to Miles Franklin if you want silver and gold at 952-929-7006 or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. And you can let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you. But I am not that person that you just saw in the chat that's posing to be me. So I just want to let you all know that there are a lot of people out here that's posing to be some of the podcasters that are pretty popular in this space because they know that you know them and they're trying to get money out of our soul family members. So that is not me. Okay, so now let me see if I can show you what Elon Musk said about buying YouTube, if I can find it. Nope, I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Can you see that, family? Good morning. Keep checking in. Joyous rising. Let's see what Elon Musk says.
I don't think people should care what the media thinks about them. They're terrible judges of character.
Free speech is meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like. At the point at which you lose free speech, it doesn't come back.
In a shocking twist that has left the tech world buzzing, Elon Musk has just made an announcement that no one saw coming. I am officially buying YouTube.
Find something that's meaningful to you, that where you believe you're doing something good for the world.
Well, who's to say that something is misinformation? Who's the arbiter of that?
That's right. The billionaire entrepreneur, known for his audacious moves with Tesla, SpaceX, and more recently, Twitter, now X, is set to acquire the world's largest video sharing platform.
Some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true. That was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public.
What does this mean for the future of YouTube? How will this acquisition reshape the digital landscape, content creation, and the way we consume media? The world knows Elon Musk as a revolutionary entrepreneur, a visionary constantly pushing the boundaries of technology and business.
So there you have it, family. Elon Musk said that he is officially buying YouTube. And I'm so excited about that because maybe now I can monetize. Not only did YouTube shut down 6 of my channels, and they did reinstate 3 and tell me I can never monetize and I can't have access to advanced features, but they owe me thousands of dollars that they just refuse to pay. And when I try to appeal, they reject it. They leave no number for me to call. They just decided they're not going to pay me the thousands of dollars that I already made. And I know that I made it because the analytics told me before they shut down my channel how much money I had made. They ran the ads on my videos, but they're not paying me. So something has to be done about that. I need my money. That's just not fair that content creators can make videos, educate the public, or even entertain the public, and then not have your money that you earn and work so hard for. But it's okay. I'm still here. I'm still going to do the work that God has called me to do. Now, speaking of YouTube, if YouTube should happen to shut down this video or take down any of my channels, there are 2 that I'm streaming from, 2 YouTube channels I'm streaming from right now, but I'm also streaming from Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Rumble. So if they should shut down my YouTube videos, then please go to my Rumble channel. And this is what it looks like. You can go to rumble.com/C/Dr. Kia Pruitt, or you just can go to rumble.com and type in Dr. Kia Pruitt, DR period space KIA space PRUITT, and you will see my channel here. You'll see all the interviews that I've done with Princess Elizabeth Rodriguez, the sole executor of the Rodriguez Trust. I only did one, but we're going to do the second one soon. And you guys said you want to hear that. You'll see the interviews I've done with many people in the Moors. You've seen the interviews that I've done with Chief Mack, who's talked to you about how to operate in the private, how to create private trust. You see my interviews with who else? Oh, JFK Jr., John F. Kennedy Jr., and how I not only interviewed him, but I reviewed his book, Stolen Identity, and all the intel that I've given over the last couple of years. So please subscribe to my Rumble channel, and I'll see if I could put that in the chat for you here. Yep, I can. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong thing right there. Let me put that in the chat for you in case you don't see it. And that way you'll always stay up on the news. And my thing over here is giving breaking news that most people haven't heard about. So here is my Rumble channel here. Thank you so much, family. Thank you so much. Absolutely. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. And every tongue that rise against us in judgment, thou shalt condemn, is the rest of that scripture. So somebody said tarot cards have been read on JFK Jr. and he is MK Ultra mind controlled, but it's related to the family. You know, the interesting thing about that is he already said he's been under MK Ultra mind control. And thank you for that confirmation. He said that I am the son of John Kennedy, the president. I think it was the 35th president. So speaking of JFK Jr., here is his book, Stolen Identity. It is an excellent book that talks about how he was put into witness protection. Now, he was put into witness protection as a child, but the witness protection program is run by the CIA and the government. The government has double agents inside the government, some good, mostly bad. So the CIA, the FBI, and all those three-letter organizations, for the most part, are a part of a mafia that controls the fake government that we know as the United States Incorporated. But John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr.'s mom actually paid the Hells Angels to protect him. So even though he was in the program to be protected, oftentimes he was not protected, but the Hells Angels would, make sure that even within this secret program, he had the protection that he needed. And they threatened the government and the CIA, or I should say, strongly encouraged them not to end his life. So the interesting thing about being a witness protection program is that you're trafficked as a child. The government mutilates you, they beat you, they put you through MK Ultra mind controlling programs, they sodomize you. And then what happens when you're sodomized is that your brain, and see, I'm a psychologist, actually fractures into many different parts, and you develop multiple personalities, so to speak. That's just a easy way to put it, but your brain fractures into many different aspects in order to deal with the trauma. And so when they sodomize you or enter the anal cavity and this happens, your mind goes to one of those characters or one of those places in order to cope with the trauma. And while you're under that type of MK Ultra mind programming that is instigated from penile penetration through the anus, they can then send you to other, prelates and presidents to on secret missions, to tell them certain things, to do certain things, to pay certain favors. And you're on a secret mission, not even as yourself, but as another personality. So this is a heinous thing that the CIA, FBI, and the fake government posing as the Republic or posing as the lawful government here in America has done to John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. and many other people high in power. Many other presidents they've done it to, many of their children, many entertainers' children, many politicians' children, many people high up in banking, to them and their children. This is all what they do. So thankfully, the Hells Angels, who the mainstream media would tell you is a bunch of bikers who are miscreants, but in fact, they are outlaws that are against the regime. They're against the fake government, the United States Incorporated, which usurped authority from our republic and incorporated themselves in 1871 as a government, what we call a government, but really they incorporated themselves as a nonprofit religious organization headed by the Pope and working in collusion with not only the Pope, but with the Queen of England. Well, if you heard my interview with Princess Elizabeth Rodriguez, you would know that the Queen of England is not the real queen of that region. The real queen, according to Princess Elizabeth Rodriguez, is her mother. And she talked about her bloodline and how she is the sole executor of the Rodriguez Trust, which will fund Nasara and Jassara. But just talking about how she said that Queen Elizabeth was not the real queen. And this is something that we all need to talk about, because in the government, in America and all over the world, these fake people that pose as our governments would kill out whole bloodlines and place the people in power that they want to serve. And the reason for doing that is that they can not only take over the whole bloodline and all of their legacy, but they can steal the money. Now, it's important that I tell you this, and I'll tell you why, because John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. has said it, but so have other people. So I'm going to go a little deeper in a few minutes. You really need to get this book. It's on Amazon. It has a very good rating. so far, and they're climbing the ladder, but we need to get more information out about that book so that John's story can be heard. This is the real president's son, the 35th president of the United States' son. And he's provided his version of proof. And some people can take it and some people may not. But remember, he is the first one that I know of that talked about in recent times the Hells Angels and how the Hells Angels are not necessarily malevolent or bad. Now, you always have a good faction and a bad faction of everything, of every gang, of every government, of every corporation, of every business, of every family. So speaking about the Hells Angels protecting JFK Jr., I'm glad he brought up the Hells Angels because I thought it was interesting that a couple of months ago, in California, they were arresting Hells Angels leaders. And I said to myself, it's peculiar to me that they're bringing the Hells Angels up in the news saying that they're arresting their leaders right after John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. came out and said many of the Hells Angels bikers protected him while he was in the witness protection program. So they were arresting their leaders, which kind of put up my antenna while people were saying, yeah, these are bad people. And maybe there is a bad faction in there. But I also know that there's a group of Hells Angels that are trained by the military. As a matter of fact, just the other day, you can look this up. Many of the Hells Angels went to Colorado. And they went to Colorado to confront the Venezuelan prison gang members who are taking over housing developments. Why are Venezuelan prison gang members taking over housing developments? Because not only do they want to house themselves, but they were waiting for a cue and a trigger to start a civil war. So the Hells Angels went there to deal with them. Now, it's interesting that Biden didn't send the military out there to stop them from doing that. So the Hells Angels took it upon themselves. And just in case you didn't know, it is constitutionally lawful for we the people to form a militia to deal with anybody that tries to usurp authority from our government or anybody that poses to stage a coup d'etat. We have a constitutional right to form a militia to go and drag them out of their seats of power. You have a constitutional right to do it as long as you do things lawfully. So the Hells Angels decided to go to Colorado and deal with that issue. Now, for a long time, we've known, I used to live in California, that the MS-13 gang members were crossing the border and they were crossed through, all of our ports of entry here in America, posing as Mexicans, but really they were gang members that were coming over here, taking advantage of our women, doing nefarious things to children, trafficking children, bringing in drugs, and taking over whole developments and whole areas of certain cities, especially large cities. I've been knowing this for years, being a part of my family who lived in California, and I was in and out of California. But when Donald Trump tried to tell people that, they called him a racist. When he told people that we had to put up a fence and we had to secure the borders, people called him a racist. When he told people that some of these children that were crossing over here did not belong to these families, they called him a racist, and they said he was trying to separate families, when in fact, he was trying to let the people know that these children who were coming over here didn't belong to them, but they were being trafficked. They were being sold into pornography, sold to government officials, sold to corporate entities, and forced to do nefarious things that no children should have to submit to or have to be subjected to. So they called him a racist and said he was trying to separate families. However, these people that were coming over here with these children mostly were men coming in from Africa, the Middle East, Central and South America, and not necessarily just Mexicans. They were crossing the Mexican border, but they were not Mexicans. They were gang members, just like the Venezuelan cartel that are taking over housing developments in Colorado. So interestingly, nobody seems to be concerned in the Biden administration with this security breach that's occurring in our country. So people can come to our country, not only take over housing developments, but get benefits, welfare, food stamp, money to start businesses, housing, jobs, daycare even. And have you ever wondered why you can bring a child across any country by air that's under 2 years old without any documents proving that you're the parent? So you can just say, yeah, this is my child. He's 2 or under, and no, I don't have any documents to support that I'm the parent, but I can bring them. And these children were traveling lawfully all across the globe without any proof. Why did they allow this to happen? Perhaps because the government has been involved in trafficking children all across the globe. So, as I said, the Biden administration has not done anything that I know of to stop this. As a matter of fact, did you know that Biden admitted to secretly flying in 320,000 unvetted migrants into the United States airports? The Biden administration admitted to that. Over 320,000 unvetted, undocumented people crossing the border. But the deep state is trying to cover that up. You can go to house.oversight.gov and you can look at all the proof that James Comer, who's the chairperson or chairman of the House Oversight Committee, has brought forth, all the evidence that he's brought forth that Biden has posed as a security breach to our nation. And you can find out not only about these 320,000 unvetted people crossing the border, but you can find out about secret deals he made with different governments, how he's been involved with the Communist Party of China, how he's been involved with the Ukrainian mafia, how he has done a lot of nefarious activities. And as a matter of fact, James Comer calls Joe Biden and his family the Biden crime family. And he says not only was it Joe Biden a part of it, but he was the head of it. So this is how we know that a lot of nefarious things have been going on that caused the military to then come and take over the government. So while it looks like Biden is in control of the fake government or the United States Incorporated, it's actually the military. The military is in control, and the military is poised and preparing to turning over the government back into the hands of we the people. And I'll prove that to you a little bit later. So let me show you, what is I going to show you? Oh, about the Biden administration. Joe Biden secretly allowed 320,000 migrants to enter the United States. This is a bombshell lawsuit that revealed this information. He and his administration are facing scrutiny after how can you admit to this and nothing happens to you? Admit to transporting migrants on secret flights into the United States. Customs and Border Protection has come under fire for refusing to disclose this information about a program last year that organized secret flights for thousands of undocumented immigrants from foreign airports directly into the United States. This revelation has sparked concern about national security vulnerabilities as lawyers for immigration agencies argue that revealing locations could pose a security risk. So I'll make sure you have that article. Family, I cannot put it in the description section of YouTube. I can put it in the description section, though, of my Rumble channel, but I will put it in the comment section for you. Now, remember when I said the deep state is scurrying. They're trying to act like none of this is happening. And as a matter of fact, they put out some information saying that what I just said is a lie. And they have this, I don't know if you all have heard of Snopes, but they're allegedly some type of investigators that go around to try to fact check independent journalists. They said that this was a lie. And here in this article, it says, did Biden secretly fly 320,000 unvetted migrants to American airports in 2023? It will show you here that there was a March 4th claim that Biden has secretly flown in these undocumented people into our country and that this had gone viral, but that claim came from a report by the Center for Immigration Studies. Now, this isn't just something that independent researchers dredged up. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is a report by the Center for Immigration Studies, a conservative, they want to tell you, think tank, has supported or brought up. The report and its assertions gained significant exposures when the Daily Mail covered this, and Elon Musk, here's his name again, shared the Daily Mail articles on X, formerly known as Twitter. Former US President Donald Trump also repeated the claim in his Super Tuesday victory speech on March the 5th, 2024, earlier this year. The central assertions made by the CIS, repeated by the Daily Mail or others that went viral, were one, that the Biden administration program was responsible for flying these 320,000 migrants into the United States between January and December of 2023. Snopes says that is true, but they said the other claims are false. The program was a secret whose details were discovered by an outside group. This program, or these group of people called Snopes, said that was false when indeed it is true. They also said that the program allowed unvetted aliens to enter the claim that the program allowed unvetted aliens to enter the United States was false. They said the United States government admitted that it was a national security risk, but that's false. They also says that this program, the statement or the claim that this program could affect United States politics by altering voter demographics is false, when indeed we know that is true, because a lot of these unvetted, unlawful immigrants or migrants that come into the nation are given the right to vote. So the deep state will publish articles to try to negate the information that we give as independent journalists. They're scurrying because they know that their time is up. As a matter of fact, right now, military is making high-level arrests, and they've been doing this since 2020. And honestly, for a long time, they've been actually making arrests. And I'm going to show you information that's not just coming from me, that will talk about how the military has been diligently working at arresting these people who have usurped authority from our lawful republic and essentially made us all slaves and subjected us to having all these people bum rush our borders, taking over our jobs, taking over our security, taking over the politics, taking over government, taking over banking. And this is why we had to have Donald Trump to really take extreme measures to go against the mainstream media, to call them the fake news, and to awaken the masses to how these lies were being propelled throughout not only the United States, but all across the world via the news media outlets. However, the military is in control. And not only is the military in control, family, but the republic has indeed been re-inhabited. Now, I want to show you a video just briefly to let you know that not only has the republic always stood strong, but it was standing there as a lawful government, okay? However, again, you had these group of bloodline families that usurped authority or power from the republic, and they created their own constitution called the Constitution of the United States Incorporated. That's different from the republic and our constitution for our republic. They also created policies, statutes, legalities, codes, and their policy enforcers known as police officers to force us to go along with their policies. This was unlawful. But you got to know that the military is in control and God is in control, and good people are doing wonderful things to overturn all of that. And that's why you had the Chevron deference to be overturned by the Supreme Court of the United States this summer. So we've talked about that, but in case you missed it, the Chevron doctrine or the Chevron deference basically said that the United States Incorporated and all of its federal entities, over 462 federal agencies, three-letter agencies, and all these federal entities that people thought were lawful, the Chevron deference said that any code, statutes, and laws that they created, anything they said that we had to do, we were forced to do it. We have to do it because these are experts. So Chevron deference said that if these three-letter organizations or these so-called fake government entities said you had to do things like get a license in order to travel, buy car insurance in order to travel, you had to do it. And if you tried to go to court, to take them to court, to negate that and say it's unconstitutional, then the judges would defer back to those federal agencies. That's why it was called Chevron deference. Now, the doctrine said you had to obey them. The deference said that they had to defer you right back to those agencies because they were the experts. Well, with the overturning of the Chevron deference or Chevron doctrine, the Supreme Court ruled that this is non-constitutional. What they were doing was unconstitutional. All those federal agencies, the HOAs, the CIA, the FBI, CSI, all of them are unlawful, and they committed treason. And any judge that allowed them to do this also committed treason. And any judge that knew of judges that allowed this to occur and did not report that to the president, they committed what's called misprision of treason. So the overturning of the Chevron doctrine, or Chevron deference, is actually something that's very beneficial for we the people. And that's something to let us know that we are being liberated, that the military is in fact in control. So let me show you briefly a video that will support my claim. The first thing I want to bring your attention to is this video here. This is a video on Rumble where SG sits down with a retired a retired lieutenant colonel by the name of Dr. Sandy Miarecki. She discusses how the Republic has always been here, always been in place, how the Constitution for the Republic is in place, and how some of the seats had been empty, but they've been re-inhabited. And not only does she talk about how they've been re-inhabited, but she discusses how you can get involved in the Republic. You can get involved, family. You don't have to sit on the sidelines and trust the plan. You don't have to wait. Yes, we want to trust the plan, but get involved with the plan. And this person here, retired Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Sandy Miarecki, tells you how you can do that. And she actually provides a form for you to fill out so that you can get involved at the local level, in the government, at the local level, in your city, your county, and or your state. So this is wonderful news. And this is proof that the United States of America Republic is standing strong. As a matter of fact, I know that the Republic is in place because I've met many people who operate according to the Republic. I know people who don't pay taxes. I know people who can offset their debt lawfully. They don't go to jail for it either because they understand how to operate in trust. They understand how to operate according to our Constitution for our Republic. The Republic is still here. They drive or travel, because driving has to do with, admiralty law, but they travel. When we go from place to point A to point B, we're not driving, we're traveling. These people that are operating under the Republic or in alignment with the Republic and constitutional law, our lawful government, they have license plates that says private. And those license plates actually kind of upset policy enforcers or police officers because they know that these people that have been operating lawfully according to the Republic are outside the jurisdiction of the United States Incorporated. Please watch this video here because she talks to you about how the Republic is still standing. And let me put that in the chat for you, so you can see that. Love and light to you too, family. Here it is. Everybody should watch that video. Now, there's another video that I think that is equally important. And that is a video where the former president of the Republic, our lawful government, Dr. James Timothy Turner, talks about how he had noticed that the Republic was still standing, but there were seats missing. So he wanted to re-inhabit the Republic. He wanted to bring new life to it. This was a while ago when he started this, and he started in the state of Florida, and he started meetings in his home, and then he rented a hall, but people wouldn't come out. And he was like, wait a minute, if we're ever going to take back our government, We the people have to do something. We cannot allow these presidents to take control of our country and take control of the world, take control of the economy. We cannot allow this, is what Dr. James Timothy Turner said. But the people were sedentary. They were too busy. Now this is my commentary. Too busy just being involved in their daily lives and being involved in what's going on in mainstream media, or being sedated by the music, or sedated by social media, sedated by foods or whatever. They weren't necessarily interested. So James Timothy Turner moved to Alabama, and he restarted up the meetings and said, we've got to re-inhabit the republic. We have to take control of our lawful government, because say the military did take down the deep state, then what? There's nobody sitting in place as the lawful governor, or sitting in place that as a so-called, I don't want to say congressman, but lawmakers, because all the so-called lawmakers, the Congress people that are serving right now in the United States Incorporated, they all have Esquire, or most of them have Esquire behind their name, which means that they are a fake lawyer. They're not practicing law. They passed the British accredited registry. They passed the bar exam. Now, I'm not taking away from their credentials, because that's a lot of hard work. Many of them probably didn't really do the work. They just got the title. They paid for it. But even the ones that did, God bless them for having the credentials, for doing the hard work if you did it. But the Constitution explicitly states that lawmakers may not have a title of nobility. If you have Esquire behind your name, you have a title of nobility, and you may not lawfully create laws. Therefore, all of them have to go. All of them. And this is why I'm very grateful for Lloyd Brunson and the Brunson brothers filing a lawsuit against Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and 385 members of Congress. Thank you, Brunson brothers. And I had the distinct pleasure of interviewing Lloyd Brunson twice on my show. So thank you, Lloyd, and thank you, Brunson brothers. Notice that they are trumpet players. This is not all mere coincidence and happenstance. Okay, what they do coincide with each other, but it's not happenstance. This is orchestrated, I think. The Brunson brothers, trumpet players, brought a lawsuit, a case against Biden, Harris, Pelosi, 385 members of Congress, because they posed a security breach to our nation. Now, the Supreme Court refused to hear their case. But the Brunson brothers, being very smart men and representing themselves, found a loophole in the law that if the Supreme Court for the United States does not hear such a case that posed whereby a president or anybody posed a security risk, or make us, the American people, or anybody vulnerable to such risk, if the Supreme Court does not hear those cases, then they can be held for treason. So according to the Brunson case, Pelosi, Biden, Harris, 385 members of Congress not only posed to be a security breach, but if it is found to be true, all of their credentials must be stripped. They have to face military tribunals, and they can never serve again. Well, of course, if you're dealt with, you can't never serve again. When the Supreme Court would not hear that, they then filed a motion. The Supreme Court was supposed to have a conference last October. They never brought up information to let us know whether or not that conference was ever heard, but the Supreme Court then would be held liable, and those justices could face military tribunals. Well, behind the scenes, of course, we've heard that the case has been heard and that the Brunson brothers were victorious, but that information needs to come out to the public so that we can drag these unlawful people that are standing in these positions, filling these positions, out of there and go ahead and put our republic back in place. So these people have passed a bar. They have Esquire behind their names. They have unlawfully served in positions to create laws. Well, behind the scenes, the republic has been re-inhabited with people who understand and understand the Constitution, and laws in each state in America are being rewritten or modified to make sure they are in alignment with the Constitution. And I can say this emphatically, standing 10 toes down about what I know to be true, because I know the people that are doing it, and I am involved in the Republic. So I'll give more on that later. This is just new for me being involved, but we're not going to say too much. However, those so-called congressmen, you see like conning people, they have to step down, and we have to have people that understand and overstand the republic to write the laws or modify the laws. So again, we know that the military is in control. Let me get back to Dr. James Timothy Turner. When he moved to Alabama, he revamped his idea to re-inhabit the republic, and he found that the people in Alabama were more involved, more interested than the people that were in Florida. This was some time when he started that. And when he started those meetings as the president, people began to get involved, and then it grew and it grew and it grew from there. And then he was contacted by the military. So this is such good news, family. But before I go more into that, I want you to hear it from his words. And sadly, though, after he was contacted by the military said, you know what? We've been following you. We've been watching your work. We've been looking for you. And we are working to take down these nefarious entities that have overtaken the republic or have usurped authority, not overtaken the republic, usurped authority and created themselves as a government. We're taking them down, is what the military told him. And you're what we've been looking for. But there was a time period in Dr. James Timothy Turner's life where the deep state found him, knew he was trying to re-inhabit the republic, knew he was trying to replace the fake government with our lawful government, and they arrested him and put him in prison. This is where his story is. This is what it looks like. It's called, this channel here on Rumble is called Sovereign Redneck Renegades. And the title of this particular video that I need you to watch is called The Great American Hicks Show, episode number 8, The Patriots, the Republic, and the Plan. This is part 3. I'm just going to show you a brief clip for about 5 minutes because they're going to bring on Timothy Turner to tell his story. I'm going to pause here, go get you a drink of water. This is very interesting. Get you a notepad, get your ink pen out, because this is my proof to you that the republic is being re-inhabited and that the military is not only in control, but that they plan on turning back the government back into the hands of the people. They're positioned to do it. They're planning to do it, and they're about to turn the government back over into our hands. Good morning, family. I just wanted to give you a time to get some water. I want to give you some time to get pencil and paper and to get ready for this great, interesting video. You're welcome. Kathy says, thank you, Dr. Kia. Thank you, John. Such a privilege to be here. Absolutely. So here we go, family. I want you to take note. Make sure it's turned up. Let me know that you can hear it in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear this clearly. And if you can't, put a 2 in the chat. Here we go.
Okay, I don't want to delay this anymore. I want to bring our brother James Turner in here. So here we go. Make sure and unmute your. There you go.
Hello, Emil.
Good evening. How are you?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Wonderful to have you on here, James.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, there's a bit of delay. I have a very slow internet here, and so forgive me if I talk over you sometimes.
Hold on, fam. I'm trying to make this a little louder if I can. Can I put it up a little bit? There we go.
To talk over to you while you're completing your thoughts and your sentences as well. Generally, what we'll try and do is pause. So when you're done, I'll wait, or Ben will wait, just to make sure and give you that extra moments before we chime in there as well. So that will help out just a little bit. So, well, why don't you, for those that are new, because there's quite a few new people here tonight, would you mind sharing with them just a brief overview of your involvement here in the Republic, in the sacred appointed work?
Yes, of course. Well, the Republic began back in 1994, the movement to re-inhabit the Republic. I started a movement in Florida, and got very little traction with it for a number of years. People weren't interested. They just didn't care. I would rent a hall every month, and my business would pay for all the expenses, and I would put on a dinner for about 100 people normally, and once a month. And I never could get more than a dozen people to show up. Well, that went on for about probably a couple of years maybe. And I finally stopped doing that and started having meetings in homes. And it was a very slow and painstaking process to begin with. And then in 2005, I retired and moved to Alabama. And when I got in Alabama, I held a meeting out there on my farm, and over 100 people showed up. On the first meeting, I said, wow, these people are a lot more interested than they were in Florida. So we began having meetings in Dothan, Alabama. I started a radio program in 2005. In October 2005, I started the Constitutional Americans Talk Show. And we billed it as 2 hours of politically incorrect talk radio. And it was very popular, a very popular show. And we started putting the word out about rebuilding the government, because we were concerned about what was going on in our government and national, all levels, federal, state, and local levels. And we knew that it needed to change. We knew that was not God's will for our country to go down the path it was going down. So what we did is we started trying to reestablish the lawful government. Well, and we worked at that for a number of years. I traveled the country and started organizing groups. And about 2008, I got a visit from, I think it was in November of 2008, I got a visit from some people in the military.
You hear
and
that?
They said, we've been watching
So to
you for a while.
sorry
And
about that.
we,
To recap, he said he began this work in 1994 of re-inhabiting the republic, but he noticed that people were not interested in the state of Florida. He started, paying for everything, doing conferences, but a lot of people wouldn't come. And then when he moved to Alabama and he started these meetings, over 100 people actually came, and he said, "Wow, these people are really interested in this." So this was how he started to grow his audience and started to teaching people about the republic, and continued his work in re-inhabiting the republic. And then in 2008, he got a visit from the military.
we know that we need to restore our republic government, and we want to know if you would be interested in working on a nationwide movement to do so. And I told him, I said, well, I've been working on that for years. I said, but what do you want us to do? They said, we want you to re-inhabit the original republic. They said, we've been trying to find a plan to do that since 1979. And in 95, well, they said in the Clinton administration, he didn't say 95, but in the Clinton administration, they said that they exposed themselves and went to Clinton and tried to get him to reestablish the lawful republic. And as a result, he had more than 300 of their members murdered. And they told me what they were asking me to do was very, very dangerous. They talked to three other leaders in the nation that had followings as well. They called us the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. That was what they referred to us as. And so we started working together, but we couldn't come together as a group because the other men wanted to do something other than reestablish the original republic. They wanted to set up a 22-person Politburo and run the whole nation. I said, that's not what the Constitution is. Our Constitution is of, by, and for the people. So at that time, we had to split up, and they went their way, and I went mine. The people followed me because we had a number of debates. They tried to split the republic and take the republic in a different direction. But after several debates, one of them lasted 5 hours. The people saw through what they were trying to do and understood that I was trying to follow the law, and they were trying to do something different. And so the people followed me. And we established the lawful offices over the next, in March of 2010, we completed the process. The military told me that there was a treaty that had been signed by George Bush Sr. that if we ever went into chaos in our country, that the United Nations was going to take over and rule us as a suzerainty, which is a nation ruled by other nations. And they said they also, in that same treaty, it was stated that if we did not re-inhabit the offices of the original republic by April 1st of 2010, that we were forever barred from doing so. Now, I don't think the treaty was lawful, but it would have been enforced nevertheless. So we went to work, and we worked day and night from about 2000, started in 2009 to 2000 in March of 2010 until we got the offices filled, and we held an election. I was elected as the first president, and we established a Congress. And we met in Ephraim, Utah for our first Congress. And I forget how many states, but there was more than a quorum of states. We had to have 37. I believe there was like 41, if I remember correctly, represented in that Congress. And we have formally established the Republic. Then we created documents and served them on the Universal Postal Union, the World Court. We served them on the Supreme Court of the United States, the Pentagon, Washington, D.C., several other places. And after a few months, yes, that's one of the documents. Actually, you can see our seals and signatures on it. These documents were served, and we had a couple of guys that were leaders in the Central Intelligence Agency that picked up our documents and contacted me and asked me if these documents were our documents for the Republic. And I said, yes. They said, we want to help. And so they carried these documents to nations all over the world. And one of them went and talked to the United Nations, and the United Nations agreed to give us a seat on the United Nations if we could get 137 nations to sign. The last time I talked to the gentleman in the CIA, he was in England, he said that we had 132 signatures, and I got arrested at that time, and it kind of slowed things down. But the members of the Republic, they held their ground. Many scattered, but many of the core people stayed and kept the Republic together. And we knew that it was God's will for us to have a republic in America. In fact, this is God's pattern government for the whole world. Our nation was supposed to be the light to the rest of the world. And when we first started this process of re-inhabiting the offices, we didn't know what we were doing. We spent over a year, had 22 people they were brilliant legal minds, help us with a think tank to establish the way to go and how to do, make sure we stayed within our authority and law. And it took over a year to do that assessment. And we read and studied everything we could find, and we created a process that gave us the lawful authority and to do what we did. And that was analyzed by the military back in 2010 or 11, and they said it was good. And what they told me is that the corporation is going to collapse. They said it's going to collapse because of financial impropriety, and it was going to be solvent at some point. They thought it would be 2017 or 18.
Did you hear that?
Because of the quantitative easing extent.
The corporation is going to collapse. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Turner.
By the Federal Reserve that kept it alive till now. I believe it's about over. And I have been visited by principals in the military, or at least a messenger from principals very high in the military just a few weeks ago, who told me that it was time to stand up the Republic. So we believe that it's God's timing. We believe that it's time. The American people are being awakened. When I met with the military, I met with them several times in Arlington, Virginia. And they told me that they were going to start a program of education. And they said they were going to use movies, TV shows, magazines, books, whatever they could to help educate the American people and wake them up to the corruption that's going on in their government. And they did. And you've never seen as many movies and shows about the corruption in government as you have in the last decade. They just didn't exist. But they started bringing these shows forward and putting them out to educate the public, basically. Because the military's concern is the American people cannot take rapid change. They said it would cause chaos and confusion. So what they wanted to do was slowly change the mindset of the people. We have more than 100 million people who are awakened, not woke, awakened. The people who call themselves woke are comatose, as far as I'm concerned. They're not even asleep. They're in a coma.
That's a fact.
But the awakened people in this nation are beginning to stand up. And this is what we have prayed for and worked for many years. And I see God doing it today. And I believe he's going to succeed. His plan to reestablish this republic, there was divine intervention all the way through this. I could sit here for hours and tell you different things that God did during this process. One of the things that he did is the military came to me after we first got started, and they said, we need to see your plan. I said, we don't have a plan. I said, I don't even know how to get a plan. I mean, there is no textbook or a manual how to rebuild a country. I mean, it just didn't exist. So he said, well, we have to have a plan to look at. So I told my people, I said, my security people, I said, listen, I've got to go to prayer. I don't know anybody that can help us build a plan except the Creator. I said, I need his help. And so I went to fasting and prayer for several days. And on the evening of the third day, the sun was going down, about to go down. And I was sitting there at the dining table in this place where I had this place to go and pray. And I turned off all my phones. There was no communication. We didn't have a TV in the place, or we didn't have a radio. I went there to be alone with God. And I stayed there and fasted and prayed. The evening of the third day, the Spirit of the Lord moved on me, and he told me, he said, grab your legal pad and pen, he said, and begin to write. And there was a download came from God. And I wrote all night long, as fast as I could write, up until the sun was up the next day, and before I finished. And when I read what I had written, I couldn't believe it. It was a 22-part plan for reestablishing God's republic. And I took it to the Congress and let them read it and help organize it maybe a little bit better. And what I call get the redneck off of it, because I am a redneck. And so some of my language gets over into my document sometimes. So anyway, I asked them to take care of that and make it presentable to the military. And so anyway, they took the document and reorganized it a little bit. And I took it to Arlington, and we met a couple of weeks later. And I took it to Arlington. They reviewed the plan. They took it and said, we're going to take this and look at it. So they called me about 2 weeks later, and I went back to Arlington and met with them again, a group of them. And they asked me, said, where did you get this plan? And I told them, I said, it came from the Creator. I said, God wrote the plan. They said, he must have, because it's the first plan we've seen in 50 years we think will work. I said, it will work. It's not no thinking that it'll work. It will work because this came from the divine source. I said, I'm not smart enough to write a plan like that for sure. I said, it came. I explained to them how it happened, and they said, this is a good plan. And so we worked the plan. We rebuilt the republic. We established what we needed to do, and we got. a quorum and started having meetings. And so in September of 2012, the FBI arrested me and took me to Montgomery, Alabama, where I was put in maximum security. They denied me bail. I went through trial. They offered me an attorney. I refused the attorney. They told me that if I didn't plead guilty and testify against people in the Republic, that I was going to get 164 years in prison and die in prison. And I basically told them, I said, well, I can't stop you from doing that. I said, but if I do, I'll die. I'll do it like a man. I said, I'll never testify against my people. They said, we'll give you a guaranteed 7 years if you'll testify against some of the people. And I said, I will never testify against.
So he goes on to talk about how he would not testify against the people. The FBI arrested him and he spent, I think, about a decade in prison. I'm going to end the video here because it's not my work and I don't want to steal their work, but I did put the link in the chat for you so you can watch the rest of the video. Of course, I'm having problems right now with my internet. I hope y'all can see me. I can't see you. I'm trying to stop sharing this video, but they won't let me. But the gist of the discussion here is that Dr. James Timothy Turner actually re-inhabited the Republic and breathed new life into it. His plan was accepted by the military, and they're actually implementing his plan. As a matter of fact, 2 books were written from his plan. I'll show you those books. I'm just waiting for my internet to stop freezing. I don't even know if you all can hear me or if you all see me. That was the princess. Princess Elizabeth just called me, so I have to call her right back. And I'll let her all know that you all said, yes, you are interested in doing a part 2 with her, me doing an interview, a part 2 interview with her. But so he re-inhabited the Republic. And as a matter of fact, the seats are being filled right now and people are at work rewriting the laws, and people are filling the seats for the magistrate or judges in certain counties. Most of the seats.
We are the plan. God wanted us to be the plan. We're the plan. We've always been the plan. And so
the seats are being
more along the path of our eternal existence, especially here on this earth, we forgot our sovereignty, that we are divine sovereign birthrights of a king. It's beautiful. And I've listened to this gentleman that we're bringing in. He's in the green room right now. James Timothy Turner is really a divine man. I've listened to multiple podcasts that he's been on, shows that he's done. And I've re-listened to him multiple times because there is so much truth that resonates when he's speaking with authority, divine authority.
Up right now.
And I have never heard anybody in the sovereignty movement in all these years who claim they have that authority speak.
Okay, I think it's over.
With that authority. Can you?
So there's more that I wanted to share, family, but I'm having problems with my computer. It's frozen on my end.
When he's speaking with authority, divine authority. And I have never heard anybody in the sovereignty movement in all these years who claim they have that authority speak with that authority. And you guys are going to see for yourselves tonight. You're going to feel he has the Holy Spirit with him, guys. I mean, that's all there is to it. He is a man of God. He's a highly man of principle. And he's a man who I say stands in honor in all that he is, all that he does, and all that he just in his existence. And so I just felt that I need to say a prayer to get us started tonight. So we have protection, a hedge of protection over this message, because this message needs to go out far and wide as much as we possibly can, because our time is whittling down. So before I say the prayer, brother, is there anything you'd like to say before we get going here?
So just want to give out a shout out to Mike up there in North Dakota. We've got quite a few people watching right now. And I just want to say again, what the acronym of the Great American Hicks: honor, integrity, community, knowledge, and sovereignty. We're bringing it to you guys live and large, and it's going to be drinking from a fire hose. So just buckle up. It's going to be good.
Well, I warned everybody 4 years ago as we're in this great awakening, be careful what you ask for, because if you have not been awakening up to this point, you're getting that fire hose treatment right now. And I know it's a tough thing to swallow for a lot of people. So, all right, I'm going to stop my camera here real quick because I'm going to bow here. So I'm going to say a prayer. Thank you. Pardon me. Beloved, holy presence of eternal, Holy Father,
I can't stop this.
the infinite prime creator
That's
Our
it.
families of Christ, hearken now unto the words of our mouths.
Bye-bye.
We now pray with all of our Christed hearts for all angelic humans and all living beings and creations to be freed from enslavement and harm, free to develop naturally and enjoy the creative expressions as the infinite prime creator, God our Father, intended for all of humanity, free from the inorganic reversals and the anti-life inversions of the natural laws of God. For one, for all, we now cancel all contracts and agreements that have actually, been made with any entities, beings, guides in this timeline or in any reality that are utilizing this Armageddon programming here on Earth that harms all of humanity. We now terminate all false matrices, controllers, implants, and illusions that may have obscured our highest God source purpose and our soul's missions from the past, from the future, and even in the present. We now further declare that the cancellation of all such contracts cannot be changed and are now permanent in all time frames and realities in harmony with the infinite prime creator, Father God's will. We, the divine children of eternal light, we now set our intention dedicated to the sovereign law of one, and that we are the stewards of the divine plan of the holy presence of God's source, our eternal Holy Father, which protects all human sovereignty and unity throughout all the universe. We now choose in perfection to always stand in the eternal light and represent full sovereignty, freedom, and peace for all human beings and creations on this planet. We now send our heartfelt prayers to our families, to our loved ones that are feeling scared, feeling pain and feeling sick, feeling fear of the unknown in these times. Beloved, eternal Holy Father, please reanimate the heart of the Christ Spirit in all males. Please reanimate the family of Michael, the male Christ principle, to restore earth to peace. Beloved, eternal Holy Father, please ignite the true and the benevolent kings of Christ to override the malintent of the children of the dark ones, these fallen angelic tyranny, these Luciferians, and all satanic forces. We humbly ask you to now please restore peaceful and loving hearts with your wisdom. With your wisdom, your Holy Spirit, in the true love of compassionate actions, that we may do it towards our earth and our people and our kingdoms. We humbly ask you now to please reveal all truth, the light, and the way in all the hearts of men and women. We humbly ask now to please free this earth from the enslavement of these false, dark overlords and their deceptions, and to ignite the glory of God's image to be made in the hearts of all men and women. May we hold in our hearts a loving prayer for all of those to be joined together now through peace and love, and to know brotherhood, sisterhood, and friendship through all of our intentions and our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. May we all intend to increase our goodness and our purity through our loving hearts. With humility, we ask you, eternal Holy Father, to place shields of protection around us and our families and our extended families thereof. We now ask humbly that the heavenly realm, the Elohim, and the Christ, the Christos, and the divine angelics, to infuse our lives now and in the future with your light and your love. Father, thank you. May all of us be blessed. May all of us be sanctified in the peace of the infinite prime creator of all there is, Father God. And as we decree it, so let it be. In the beloved name of the eternal Christ, we say these things. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. It is done.
Awesome. Amen.
Okay. All right. I just got. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to delay this anymore. I want to bring our brother James Turner in here. So here we go.
I'm trying to stop the video.
Make sure and unmute your. There you go.
Hello.
Let me stop it.
Good evening. How are you?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can't turn
Yes,
the
sir.
volume. I can't.
Wonderful to have you on here, James.
This is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, there's a
Oh.
bit of delay. Yeah, I have a very slow internet here, and
Hello, everybody. I didn't know that you were still there. If you're still there, I apologize. Let's see, we have 495 people in the chat. Keep chatting. What happened was that my computer froze, my internet started acting up. You guys could keep talking to each other. I couldn't see myself. I couldn't stop the videos. I couldn't communicate with you all. My computer just completely froze, and I'm really getting tired of this. I'm tired of it. I have problems with my internet. I have problems with every single computer. This is the third computer within the last few months that I've had. My YouTube demonetized me. YouTube take away my channels, gave me a couple back, said I can't ever monetize again. I mean, I've had so many, my income been taken away. Some income not even related to the work I do was taken away. One of the places that I was renting out, I've had an eviction notice put on it. And even though I had paid the payment for it and paid on time, they still tried to eject me from it. I've had so many problems because I guess of the work that I do, but I'm going to keep going, and we're just going to keep trudging through. John F. Kennedy Jr. is the son of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr. He and I are great friends. He's a brother of mine. I love him. I love his companion, Robin. They're doing great work. I encourage you to support the book, read it for yourself, and you'll be able to see how deeply this cabal runs throughout every segment of our society. You'll be able to see how they try to mess with you if you try to get out the truth. Please read his book. And that's all I'm going to say before I tell you. Here are some books about the re-inhabited republic that you should get. There's one. It's by Jean Hallahan Herder with David Carl Hertler. It's called Re-Inhabited. That's one book. And here's Re-Inhabited Volume 2. I encourage you to read those to talk about the history of the Republic and how it has been re-inhabited. That's all the news I have for today. We have 503 people in the chat. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. If you desire to support my work, then you can send a Cash App to Mama Kia 13. That's MAMAKIA 13. Mama Kia 13. It will help me. But you know what? Even if you don't, I appreciate all that you've done for me because God continues to take care of me. I don't know why this happens, family, where my computer freezes. It looks like I don't know what I'm doing. I couldn't talk to you all. I couldn't exit out of my computer. I couldn't exit out of Rumble, couldn't exit out of YouTube. I couldn't exit out of my StreamYard. StreamYard won't stream to all of my platforms. They kick me out. I'm tired of it. Here's John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. right here. He says, please send some love to Dr. Kia. She is a true lion. Thank you, John. I love you so much. Thank you, too, for sending me that text. I love you. He says, God bless you, Kia, and thank you from me and Robin. Thank you. Please go and support John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. Get his book called Stolen Identity from Amazon. It's less than $20. It's a great read. You can get the audio book for less than $10. You can also get a hard copy if you want to. And the reason why this book is important is because of the work that his dad did. He is continuing on his dad's legacy. So what did his dad say? John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr., who is the 35th president, he said, there is a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. But before I leave this high noble office, I will expose their plot. And because he exposed their plot, they got rid of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr., but his son is here to continue on his legacy. Now, people have asked me, why do you support this man? I support him because he's telling the truth. Every single thing that he says, I've been able to support and back up because I know people who are children of prelates. I've met Nancy Pelosi's daughter-in-law who had her children taken away from her. I've met Rena Houston, who is Whitney Houston's eldest child that was taken away from her and sold into child sex trafficking. I've been friends with her for over 10 years. I just recently went and saw her this summer, spent time with her. I have pictures to prove it. And she told me through the 10 years that I've known her, the same stories that JFK Jr. told me about, how they'll take you from your father, your parents, sell you through child sex trafficking, rape you, put you through MK Ultra mind controlling program, take away your income, take away your dignity, send you people that you think you just met and you fall in love with them, and the deep state sent them to you to steal your identity, steal your money, to make sure you don't move ahead. I've met many, many people out there who have told me these stories, and this is why I support John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. Now, some people take issue with the fact that he says that his cousin, who was Donald Trump, was murdered in 1989. They say, why? How can you support that? Let me plug up my computer. Another problem I had while I was podcasting is my computer was powering down, and when I plugged it up, it wouldn't send any charge to it. So that's why I kept looking back, trying to find different cords to put in the computer. It wouldn't charge back up. I'm telling you, there's this conspiracy to stop the news. But JFK Jr. told us that his cousin, who was John F. Kennedy, who was Donald Trump, was murdered in a plane helicopter crash. And people take issue with me because I still support this man. Well, it was his cousin. He can say what he wants about his own flesh and blood. That's his story. And you know what? We all know that they kill out whole bloodlines and take over. I just told you all that Princess Elizabeth Rodriguez said that the fake queen that just died recently of England was not the real Queen of England. Her mother was the real Queen of England. So we know this happens. But the good news is the white hats are using the avatar of Donald Trump. Whether it's the real Donald Trump or not, I can't prove, but the avatar is being used to take down the deep state. Now, you might be upset with that, but what I do know as being a person that's working with the Republic is that the military is taking down the deep state. President Trump is the president of the United States Incorporated, not the president of the Republic. We have a president. Okay, or had one, James Timothy Turner. I don't know what's happening with that seat, but it's being re-inhabited, and I'm involved with that. The military is taking down the deep state. President Trump, if we do have elections, will win the elections, and then the elections being the president of the United States Incorporated, and then the military is going to turn it back over to we the people, the government back over to the Republic. That is what's going to happen. That is what I've been told. That is what a lot of us are working towards. So be encouraged, whether or not it's the real Donald Trump or not, I can't say, but the man told us that was his cousin. Okay. And they kill out whole bloodlines. They take their position, and then the military can use whomever they will. And I've been saying this for years since I've known about Donald Trump. God can use whomever he will to take down evil and to usher in good. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who good and who's evil. What are you? Are you good? Are you evil? Choose you this day who you will serve. Will you serve God? Because if you're going to serve God, then stand with me and declare that we're going to take our country back. But if you serve Satan, then your time is up, and you're going to go and you will not ascend to the fifth dimension. You'll be left down in the third dimension with everybody else. Choose you this day who you will serve. Whose side are you on? Whose side are you going to stand with, the good or the evil? Because all the evil, all these people that pledged for secret societies, all these people that were in cahoots against the government, all these people that took bribes and took money in order to have good positions and seats of power, and who sold us out, sold American people, sold their own family members out. Your time has come, and you will deal with the consequences. But the scripture says, choose you this day who you will serve. But as for me and my house, as for Dr. Kia Pruitt and my house, those underneath my roof, underneath my realm of influence, those that abide by my law, we will serve the Lord. We will stand by the Constitution. So that's about it, family. I am so sorry that I had this problem with my internet, but we must unite. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. said, Lions unite. Please share this woman's platform on all platforms. Lions roar. That's right. Send me some love and light, family, please. I love you all so much. And I'm encouraged. I'm so grateful that you stayed here. I was just about to just close it out and give up. I even told my daughter-in-law, we ain't doing no more podcasts today. I'm tired. Thank you. So the truth always wins. Family, I just want to show you this. I don't even know if I should, but John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. is not the only person that said the real Donald Trump died in 1989. I told you all this, that Benjamin Fulford, who is a geopolitical analyst and who has published with and was the editor of Forbes magazine for many years, said the same thing. And he's been saying it for years, that the real Donald Trump died in the 1980s. But you know what? Interestingly enough, he just said it recently again. And I sent this to JFK Jr. because I was like, you know what? I said this and people laughed at me and said I was lying, but I'm gonna let y'all hear it. It's just a briefly, here it is in case my computer starts acting up again. Let me show y'all right here. Here is the link. And let me show you what Benjamin Fulford says. Please go to Benjamin Fulford I think it's .net or .com. Look for Benjamin Fulford online, Google him, but this is his link that I put in the description section on Rumble. He gives weekly updates. He's been saying for years, for all the time that I've been following him, that the real Donald Trump died in the 1980s. So whoever's taken his place, allegedly taken his place, the real one that we know to be him, he is in Mount Cheyenne being protected by the military, while other versions of him are being put forth in the public. So let's just hear what he says, and then we're going to close out with this because I'm tired and I need to go and take a deep breath because I'm tired of every time I try to go on, something happens. So let's see, baby. Hold on, baby. Kathy G says, Daddy always validates. Absolutely. Lisa says, I heard the same thing, but he was brought back by a med bed as well. Okay, thank you, Lisa. We'll see, right? At the end of the day, he is going to be the lawful president of the United States Incorporated, but the whole government will be turned back over to we the people. We don't need anybody that served in the corporation to represent us any longer. But I'm grateful for what the white hats of the military are doing. Pay attention to this, family, and then we're going to close with this. Here you go.
Microsoft and Google in order to end this. Next question.
Hi, Ben. Says, I have some doubts that Trump is really a white hat. He is allegedly meeting with Netanyahu. Of course, I would like your opinion, but I don't want to vote in another rigged election for someone who supports the KM Zionists.
Again, you know, I get so many mixed signals about Donald Trump. This Space Force guy who I've met, who's met all the various presidents and who's been to Antarctica, tells me there are 3 Donald Trumps. There's the real one who's in Mount Cheyenne, directing the military white hats, and then he has an avatar who appears in front of the public, and then they have an evil one working for the black hats. That's what they say, but my understanding is that the original Donald Trump actually died in the 1980s. So I'm getting more and more cynical about this. Again, I prefer someone like Field Marshal Douglas McGregor, who's a genuine human being, to be put in charge and not go for this Trump. But definitely, as things stand, he is the lesser of 2 evils.
So
next question.
Hi, Ben. Which Trump had the conversation with Musk? The things he spoke of seemed to be rather
so I'm not
white hat orientated. Also, do you see Elon as a good guy?
I'm not to say, I can't say who is who, but I'm going to let him finish his question and we'll end here.
Clearly, the Trump who was speaking with Elon Musk was the one that we were told was working as an avatar for the real Trump, who's in Mount Cheyenne with the military white hats. At least that's what they're telling me. I haven't personally been to Mount Cheyenne and seen that. As far as Elon Musk is concerned, he was sitting on the fence for a long time, but he is definitely now working towards promoting the truth through X. And my own Russian sources tell me he represents the National Reconnaissance Organization, which is the military white hats. Having said that, I've tried to get an interview with Elon Musk, and I think he's still too scared to talk to a genuine truth seeker like me or Henry Mako. And he's definitely, he needs to be more forthcoming. But my understanding is that he's the son of Werner von Braun, the Nazi rocket scientist, and he represents the Nazi good guys in the Secret Space Force.
Well, That's it. I'll stop there. I'll end there. I love you, family. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Bye-bye.
But again, I haven't actually confirmed that he physically exists either. I haven't met someone in person who's met him in person. So there are a lot of question marks about him, but clearly the platform X is now being used to disseminate truth, and I support that. And I hope that he is more forthcoming in the future. And I, once again, extend an invitation to him to have an interview with me. Okay, well, that's all for now, folks. And next week will be September, and hopefully there'll be some real action starting then.
All right. That's it. I can't get out of my computer again. So talk to you all later, family. If you want to support my work, please send a cash app to $ Mama Kia 13. That's $ MAMAKIA 13. $ Mama Kia 13. Peace, family. You may not see me for a while, but I am coming back with a part 2 interview with Princess Elizabeth Rodriguez, the sole executor of the Rodriguez Trust. And that could be as soon as tomorrow. And if we do it tomorrow, it will be 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. And now I'm going to try to click out of this video because now I'm having problems again with my computer. Yeah, I'm going to have to go and try to hug that tree you were telling me about, family. This is why I don't come on sometimes, because I have so many problems. Again, this is the 3rd computer I've had within the last couple of months. Was it the 3rd? Yeah. And they cost money. And I've had to, try to make sure my internet's working. It's all paid up. I don't know. I keep having problems with it. They don't want to get out the truth. And it's okay, because the truth and God will prevail. Woo, child. Somebody says stay strong. I'm trying, fam. I can't even end this live. I'm trying. I can't click on anything. It doesn't work. This is crazy. I don't know what to say, family. I'm trying to end this live. My computer won't turn off. Nothing. I'm trying to get out of certain tabs that I have up. It won't work. Somebody says get on the platform with PPN. I'm not interested, but thank you so much. I've done interviews with them. I'm just not, I am on Rumble, but I'm not interested in going on other shows right now. Not at this time. I just need to figure out something for myself. I've made other companies millions. When I tell you millions, and I have the paperwork to prove it, while I'm struggling. Millions within the last 2 years, multiple millions. Okay. I'm not interested in making people millions of dollars anymore. Many companies. So thank God that God is in control. Somebody says, no, I'm not at the library. I'm at home. But I've had problems at the library too. I've had problems outside, in front of outside the house and near the house, near other internet outlets. I had problems on my computer, other people's computers. I had problems with my streaming software.